So I biked over to a nearby lake and I'm going to paint a sky, focusing on some evening colors, which you can't see as well, but just this way, starting to get some of that really beautiful purple. So I'll probably switch this around and let you see that better. So if I flip the camera, it's facing southeast, and you can't really tell on the phone here as easily what the actual colors are, because our cell phones tend to kind of blow out highlights and do their own weird wonky thing with colors. So I'm facing this way. This is what I'm going to be focusing on tonight. I'm going to go quickly because with evening time come more mosquitoes, and I don't want to be eaten alive, and I didn't wear jeans tonight. So I'm going to start with weather data. Right now it is, I'll start with the date. It is July 12th, 2024. And it is 8:17 p.m. 93 degrees, and winds 9 miles an hour from the west southwest. And cloud-wise, other ducks, there's like 6 ducks right here. They've been accumulating. It is not clear, but I would say actually about 40% cloud cover this evening, which is nice. I haven't had that in a while. And I am facing southeast. All right. So now that I've put this down in waterproof pen, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do water brush tonight. So going for, I have 2 brushes in my kit, water brush wise. I'm actually going to go for this one. And I didn't bring any Kleenex, so I'm just gonna go ahead and see what I get without Kleenex, and kind of use oh my god, these ducks are beautiful. This water is beautiful tonight. I should just be doing that. Anyway, let's not get distracted here. So I'm starting with my lightest hue, which is actually more of the predominant blue, which is in the background behind these pinkish clouds. So I don't know if you can see this right here, but putting this in first. And the water brush is going to save me tonight because it's a hot evening. It's been hot all day. The high was, I think, 109 for today. And that's just going to sap the water right out of everything. Okay, so I'm going to mix a little bit of purple. I'm taking Indanthrone, and I'm taking a little bit of pink. I forgot the name of the pink. Apologies. I'm actually going to neutralize that a little bit with quinacridone burnt orange, because we have these really pretty purpley clouds off in the distance that you can't quite see here. And then switching back to pink. Now, a challenge for me is when you use a water brush, if you are using little paint wells or mixing wells, they fill up pretty quickly because the water from your water brush will spill out into those as you're mixing. It's something you don't have to deal with really when you're using a different kind of paintbrush, like a regular haired brush in the field. But the versatility of using the water brush is pretty nice when you need to go quickly, and maybe you won't have time to switch between both. Okay, so far I'm getting in these purples and the blues, and I'm gonna get like a little streak here of this pinkish cloud that I'm seeing. A little too pink, so I'm actually going to come in with a little bit of petal orange. There's some kids playing basketball in the distance. Really nice kid stopped by and actually introduced himself, so that was kind of cool, because he likes art. So seeing somebody with a sketchbook out here, I had my sketchbook out earlier, made him feel like he had maybe a friend. So all right, well, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna actually get a little bit of water out, because I want to use my dagger or my eradicator and use that for some lifting out. So I'm going to use my dagger this time, and I'm just going to take this sideways and rub it. And as I rub that, if you can see that, I'm able to pull out some of this color. And then I'll go back and put in the lighter, brighter color from these clouds here. Hi. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, now that I have a regular brush, I'm going to go ahead and soak up. Also complements motorcycle noises for you. Because, come on, when you go outside in the evening, you probably expect to hear somebody revving up their motorcycle. Okay, I'm using some Quin Gold, and I'm mixing that with the Pedal Orange. And now I'm going to plop that in, and then I'm going to smooth it out a little bit here. So let me show you how I'm going to soften that. Because as these colors change very rapidly, I'm only going to be able to see them for just a few moments. Okay, so I'm blending this in right here. And this is helping get these additional clouds here. And I'm kind of building them in layers. Now, before I add any more in, I am going to take my eradicator, dip it in my water, which is still relatively clean. It's not perfectly clean, not in the studio. And I'm going to use this to start blurring some of these lines, because the lines that I am seeing tonight are not sharp. What's the word I'm looking for? Harsh. They're very soft lines. So I want to make sure that I capture that in this by softening them out in my painting. They're kind of like one big glum of clouds. And it's hard to make heads and tails of where the top layer is. You just have that variation in the color. Okay, one final touch is there's a tiny bit more towards the top here. So I'm actually going to use, I think, a 10 soft. Forgot the name of this brush. And take like a side swipe here. Just very gently coming in with a little bit of motion, a little bit of pedal, a little bit of pink. Let that sit, and then rub over it one more time and soften. Now see, having that blue down first allowed me to then layer, because visually, if you think about the clouds as layers, the furthest layer from you is that blue sky. In this case, it's quite light because it's evening time and we're nearing the end of daylight. So I'm just going to go around and soften up a couple little bits here. And I think I'll just take one more look. About ready to call that good. I am going to add in, I do see a little bit more, kind of like a pink swipe now. One of the fun things about painting clouds is they change the whole time you're painting them. And so you don't have to, try to adapt that as you're painting it to get as close to that moment as possible, even though the moment itself is shifting. So let me just soften this up now. And I'm at a point where I feel like it's changed enough now that if I continue to add to it, it's not going to be really in the spirit of the moment I was in, which is when I started. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that up. And there we have it, got a sky. Let me see if I can show you real quick. I'm gonna take off my kit is really wet. Well, actually not so bad now. Let me lift this up and take out my water, and I'll show you. So there you have it. It's hard to see in this kind of lighting. It's something I'll share like with my other skies. But for now, that's it. I hope you had a chance to paint the sky today too. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. I am back at home, and I'm gonna go ahead and unmask the sunset. I will write in my weather data later on, which is right here. What I like to do is take a little pencil line and put that underneath. So for now, I'll be keeping this little bit of information right here, but I'll take it off for just a second. There we go. One of my favorite parts is unmasking. Get to see all the colors really without any kind of competing blue masking tape off to the edges. So there it is. There was that sunset from a little bit earlier. Thanks for joining me.